Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to I Quit My Band. Thanks everyone for being here. My name is Nate.
I'm mostly harmless.
My name's Evan.
That was good.
I'm sorry, I'm JJ.
If you haven't checked out the Mostly Harmless Netflix
So
documentary,
stupid.
then go check it out.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
Welcome to I Quit My Band. Thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't subbed to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram and TikTok, and go follow our Patreon page for bonus episodes. We're on a little bit of a review kick right now. We want to keep it rolling. Today we're going to be talking about an artist that's not as well known as the bands we've talked about. We talked about Idols. We talked about MGMT.
Yeah.
I think it's time to start breaking some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The IQMB You Ought to Know artist.
The You Oughta Know
this
artist.
is a You Oughta Know.
This is the inaugural episode, I think. We want to tell you about a guy that we listened to. We had his record sent over to us from PMR Records, and we checked it out, and we fucking really dug it. This guy's name is Masterpiece. He's a UK artist. I think this is his second record, right?
I thought it was his debut, but I'm not sure.
Okay, so this is his debut. He's been putting out a lot of singles.
Yeah, lots of tunes.
Yeah. From what we could tell, I mean, from the singles that I heard, he's got a very a vibe that's reminiscent of like early 2000s. What's the word?
It's like iPod Shuffle.
iPod Shuffle, iPod commercial, but like there's a terminology like the
It's like early 2000 indies.
indie, but
Yeah.
like the word. There's a
Sure, you can
There's
keep
a
shaking
genre.
your hands at me, but I
there's a
have
genre
no
for it.
I have no insight into
yeah.
whatever's going
Manifesting
on
it.
up there.
I'm trying to think of it. I'll get to
It'll
it. But
come,
It
yeah.
reminds me of like the New York scene of like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, LCD Soundsystem, the Strokes. Like,
Yeah.
kind of up that alley. Like a kind of a techno dance rock vibe mixed all in one. But yeah, his new record is called How to Make a Masterpiece.
A ton of singles have been coming out by
Yeah.
him since 2018.
2018. Wow, so he's been releasing music for a long time.
Yep.
Let's just get into his new record because I had a lot of fun listening to it.
The album's called How to Make a Masterpiece.
Yes.
Yes. Which is
By Masterpiece.
comprised of a lot of songs that have been put out on past. There's one album and it has like 6 songs on it, and it's comprised of a lot of those, and there's a bunch of singles.
So it's kind of like almost like a compilation of stuff he's been doing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Let's dive right in. What do you say, fellas?
Let's do it.
Yeah. This is the first song called Los NARCOS.
Just immediately.
Immediately fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Reminds me of the Dare,
That's what I was thinking. That's the
like
type-
indie-sleaze.
sleaze.
There
There
you
That
you
was the
go.
word. I knew it would come. Indie-sleaze. That's what I was trying to say.
And I kind of knew it, but I just wanted to
Come
watch
on,
you drown.
dude. I was
dude.
struggling here. Yeah. It's right up the realm of indie-sleaze. Reminds me of the Dare. Maybe even like. I mean, I don't want to say Death from Above 1979, but it has that vibe of that like kind of dance punk energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just makes you feel like you're at a club.
Yeah.
You know, just high out of your mind. You know.
Good
The,
production.
Great hook.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to. It's dancey, but it's still very like rock centric. You know,
Yes.
it's still being driven mostly by the instruments.
Yeah, I mean, for how much cool, weird, like little glitchy production and kind of that indie sleaze vibe. There's a punk element to this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hell of an opener, I think, with Los NARCOS.
I'll add too that this album that we're listening to comes out on March 1st.
Comes out on March 1st.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get that straight away.
How to Make a Masterpiece. Masterpiece, March 1st.
Yes, we've established that. How to make a masterpiece.
Hammering it home.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Cool.
The song's called Lodge. This song
Gets lodged in my head.
reminded me a lot.
Sorry.
This song reminded me a lot of. I don't know if you know the band that came out and was really popular around that time. They were called the Rapture.
No,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know
Yeah.
them.
You remember
Yeah.
the Rapture? Three-piece band that like that little like did it like they like harped on that with all their guitar riffs, and this riff sounds so much like that. But I like what he did with the vocals here. I like how he kind of, is doing a sort of rap, and then we go into kind of a soaring chorus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has kind of that, not quite Franz Ferdinand, but those
Yeah.
bands that were around that time with that
Yeah.
like real like trebly sort of dancey guitar stuff.
Yeah, and that was really my shit, for a while.
Yeah.
Like, I was really into like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and the Rapture, and just smoking cigs and just pretending that you existed during that time. You know what I mean? Like this really.
I was in New York. I was down in the lower Manhattan. Yeah.
Saw it all happen. One of the best bands, Interpol.
Yeah, I saw James Murphy fight Julian Casablancas.
I saw him take ecstasy for the first time.
I gave him his first ecstasy.
That's what this is. You
Yeah.
put on that leather jacket. You buy your first pack of Marlboro Reds. You put it in your sleeve.
Yeah,
you're
you
like,
tuck it up
no
like
one's
that.
doing this.
It's a giant pain in the ass every time I want one.
And it feels weird.
I'm basically that portrait of John Lennon when he's
Yeah.
in New York with the shirt on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really like this type of music too because it's one of the last times I remember rock music feeling cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I'm saying.
This riff.
Just
Yeah.
like you want to strap on that leather jacket from Macy's.
Yeah, dude.
Just look as cool as possible.
Lay down a Harley you just got. Just
Yeah,
have
dude.
no idea how to ride
Yeah.
it.
But I mean, yeah, this like everything in this song, all the instrumentation goes so hard. The bass line, the guitar riff. He's keeping it really fun too with his vocals. Yeah. Just fucking.
Sick move to bring in a cool riff and only do it for like the bridge, like
Yeah.
once or twice.
Yeah. Let's move on. That song's called Lodge. This song's called Panic 101. This one had the most like 2000s rock vibe to me.
Yeah, it's way more indie than
Yeah.
some of the other ones.
Yeah.
That vocal reminds me of something.
It
and
does
I
remind me of something.
Can't place
too.
it.
Yeah, this is probably my least favorite track off the record.
I would agree. I didn't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it offers a bit of something different on a fairly consistent record.
It's
Yeah.
kind of pop punky a little bit.
Yeah,
A little bit. But the thing that it was giving me consistently was sick.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I was okay with
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, it's not like a true lull or anything.
No.
It
No.
still keeps the energy up. It's just not the same vibe as the rest. It doesn't have that like funk energy.
It's not my favorite vibe. It's not. There's nothing like overtly weird about it. You know, it's just like, it's
Yeah.
approachable and fine. But yeah, it's not my favorite either.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's move on to Start You Up.
Big Bloc Party vibes.
Yeah, I was
Major.
gonna say.
I saw Bloc Party open for Paramore
Oh, hell yeah.
last year. They
Bloc
were
Party's
great.
sick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
Bloc Party's
great.
great. They got some great songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the underlying riff here, you guys are probably going to disagree with me, but reminds me of like a late era The Strokes, like
Yeah,
angles,
yeah,
like
sure.
the way it starts off like with those like kind of muted drums like really fast, but the way the guitars sound remind me a lot of The Strokes.
Big time. Those like very
Yeah.
consistent downstrokes. It's like thin.
Yeah. This is the one with the bass line that goes too hard for
Ridiculous.
its own good. Yeah.
Like this is the face bass player. Like stink face.
Just like can't even see
Yeah.
what he's doing, you know?
yeah.
I do think, I mean, this is the only thing I've heard from him, but this feels like where he's at his strongest. With
Yeah.
like a dancey, sort of like driving beat.
Yeah.
And what I like too is he keeps finding different ways to deliver hooks.
Yeah.
You know, like each song kind of, he'll sing one, he'll do like that little do
Yeah.
thing. It's never like, it's not like he's a one-trick pony when it comes to the hooks. He
Yeah.
keeps finding different places.
This
to
hook
put them.
reminds me. I can't think of the song, and maybe you named the band already, but it's like, I can tell it's what you want.
Oh,
not
yeah,
to be
Two Door Cinema
alone.
Club.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They sort of had an indie-sleaze vibe
Yeah,
for a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. I was gonna say when you said like new ways to like be
Introduce
catchy in a
hooks.
chorus. He does like a thing with this song, and I think and Panic 101 where he like starts the song off with the chorus. Like he'll introduce it that way. Usually I don't love that, but I liked how he just kind of gets right down to business.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm not slowing down whatsoever on this record. I'm actually going to start songs off with the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like no one's doing it. You know
There's
what I
no
mean?
slowing down
Yeah.
anywhere on this whole thing, really.
No, not at all.
No.
Let's move on to the next one. It's called I Might Be Fake.
Oh, this was one of my favorites.
This one has such an
Ding, ding.
awesome funk vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like LCD sound
yeah,
system.
for sure.
That bass line almost reminds me of a Smith's bass line. I don't know if it's Barbarism Begins at Home or
I'm not sure. You're the Smiths guy.
I am.
Yeah,
the
you
Smith
are the
sound.
resident
Yeah.
Smith sound.
Yeah.
in the
It's
pod.
Barbarism Begins at Home, or Will I Wonder, but I can't remember.
It sounds a lot like there was a Death from Above 1979 remix album, like where they took a lot of like songs that they had and had producers remix them. Sorry.
I love that
Yeah,
kind of
that's
Minogue
cool.
synth,
Yeah.
dude.
So and then that feature.
Oh,
yeah, this one's
shit.
the
Who's
most
it
just having a
featuring?
Red Bull vodka in your hand and spilling all over your head.
Yeah, you're drenched,
Yeah.
and you're like, I need another one.
Featuring
Why aren't girls talking?
Why
Because I smell like vodka Red Bull, and I'm soaked.
and I can't even see. I don't even know where the fuck I am.
I'm about to close
Yeah.
out a tab for $780, and I'm just like, fuck.
Doesn't matter. We're on top of the world. Yeah.
What's the old American Express ad? Like 72 vodka Red Bulls bought for other chicks at the
Yeah.
club.
Oh yeah. Priceless.
One unforgettable night.
Yeah.
Priceless.
Priceless.
Yeah, an Uber ride alone while I'm sticking to
Yeah.
the leather seats because I'm doused in Red
Yeah.
Bull.
And I
And that
lost-
Kylie Minogue
Yeah.
synth was sick.
That was pretty sick.
Priceless.
Getting arrested at Tequila Cowboy. Priceless. Yeah.
dude.
This is. I mean, if stuff like this would have come on at dance clubs more when I was doing that back when I was younger, I would have
In.
probably never given up the life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'd still be going.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what are we doing this week?
You would have busted it down sexual style.
Oh yeah.
No problem.
Every weekend. dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have real crafted facial hair right now.
Yeah.
You'd look insane.
You would have
Yeah.
gotten like
Hard Rock Nick, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Indie-sleaze is back. It's
back.
Never
Haven't you
died.
heard?
If you live in my world, it didn't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to become those guys. The guys
Yeah.
that are just like preaching indie-sleaze. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I feel like the same guys that are preaching indie-sleaze are the dudes that are on the like that pickup artist video.
Yeah.
that we like.
Yeah.
How
Pickup
many
artist guy?
makeouts did you have this
Yeah.
weekend?
Fits even you just saying that.
yeah, yeah.
It sounded like a soundtrack.
hit the
It's
club.
perfect.
Come
Hit the
down and
club.
have some
Yeah.
makeouts.
But yeah, that's I Might Be Fake, and that is probably
Featuring
the
Georgia.
best song on the album.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
featuring Georgia.
This is LOO Song.
What does this remind you guys?
I thought it
of?
was okay.
I can't. I'm trying to-
MGMT.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
That synth.
the weird warbly synth at the beginning there. Yeah, I mean, this is just another really fun song. Like it does the same thing for me as the past few.
Yeah, and he does a good job of keeping the verses interesting too.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, he'll rap some of them, he'll sing
Fluctuating.
like this.
Yeah.
Like I want to get on, just as like a critique. Like I wanted to, at this point in the record, you want to kind of be like, all right, maybe switch it up a little bit. But he is,
Yeah.
like he's changing things up. He's finding new ways to introduce choruses. Like reminds me of how he introduced the Kylie Minogue thing in the last song.
Yeah, with the
Like,
drop and
Yeah. Really cool.
And it's
Just-
not a long. It's not a long album at all. So it's not like you're being beaten over the head with like a bunch of different ideas and you're like craving some sort of variety. It's like you kind of are left
Yeah.
wanting more almost.
Yeah, this is like sort of a more chill type of song.
Yeah.
It has more of a vibe.
The
but
song
I
is
mean,
summertime.
It
dude.
doesn't put you in any sort of mood besides
Yeah.
still just like like maybe you're walking to get another drink at this point.
Yeah,
And that's really
yeah,
it. You know?
there you
I'm
go.
like floating down like
Yeah.
a river on like a tube with an American flag
Yeah.
like hat.
Yeah.
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 Alone.
Being
I've broken off from my group
Yeah.
like 3 miles down the waterway.
Yeah. A missing persons report's gonna go out the
Yeah.
next day.
An idiot with a Bluetooth speaker playing
With an American
Masterpiece.
flag hat.
Playing Masterpiece
Yeah.
on repeat.
Yeah.
Unconscious.
Yeah.
Sunburnt. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. Get Naughty.
I like this one too.
Yeah, this one has probably the heaviest like riff on the record.
And this is like back to the indie-sleaze.
Yeah.
Get Naughty.
Yeah, this one I
Get
don't really
Naughty.
I don't really know who this reminds me of. There was a lot of bands that like really went under the radar but were still really good from that scene. Like there was one band called, you probably never heard of them. They were called Does That Offend You? Yeah. You ever heard of them?
No.
This reminds me a lot of that band. They put out one really cool record that sounds a lot like this. Has the same like just thumpy dance vibe, but keeping that like punk rock, hefty riff aesthetic.
Yeah, the bass tones on it's really cool.
Love it.
Like they're very fuzzy.
Yeah,
Not
love
what
it.
you would think of as like a dance bass tone.
No.
And this, like the choruses in this song keep getting like heavier and heavier.
They do.
Like the first time it comes around, I'm like, oh, that's a cool chorus. But
Yeah.
like the second time, I'm like, I'm in Zion,
Yeah.
baby.
So there's parts of this artist and his songs and whatever that kind of remind. I don't know if either of you guys are familiar with the drummer / producer / whatever, Lewis Cole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
Clown
talked about
Man
it
or
before.
whatever.
He does the clown band, but he also does a thing that's kind of more well, it's way different than the clown band. But he's an insane drummer. He's worked with like Thundercat and dudes like that. He has a thing called Knower. I don't know if
Yeah.
either
Yeah,
of you
didn't
guys
we
are
put
familiar.
one of those songs on
We
the
definitely
playlist?
Maybe we did talk about Knower, but this one kind of reminds me. The reason I got hip to Lewis Cole and any of that stuff is he's made these videos like where they're crammed in a small apartment.
Oh, I've
and
seen
they,
those, yeah.
They're so cool and so
Yeah.
syncopated and like whatever. But this kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah.
That's why I like it.
Is this the one that the tempo really speeds up on like a weird, like it gets to
don't
like
remember.
a weird, almost off BPM. Like I think
Right
it kind
there.
of does. Like it starts off at like one tempo and then it speeds up like very slightly. The riff kind of gets heavier. I really like that. It was a cool way to drive the song forward.
I might like this one better than the I Might Be Fake song.
Yeah, this is an album where like the more
It's tough to choose.
the more I went on, I couldn't decide which one was my favorite. Like
Yeah.
every one I heard, I was just like, damn, that's
Yeah.
also really good.
Yeah.
Let's hear the
Yeah.
next one, Sick in the Bathroom.
This
Oh,
sounds
yeah.
like a band JJ would listen to.
This
That
is the one with
bass,
the
dude.
nasty. Yeah, I knew you would love this one.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a little bit of royal blood action.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Don't put that on me. I used to like them.
Yeah, I like the bass tone on this one, but it wasn't one of my favorites. It had more of a. It just didn't have the rowdiness, you know.
No, but some of the hooks I like, where
Yeah.
it's like, reach out and touch me.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, I like
this
that.
one. Yeah,
Right here.
yeah. Yeah, let's take a sec.
A little pre-chorus action.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nice. That's
yeah.
yeah. That is nice.
Yeah, I mean the Bloc Party again with those like
Very
16 notes
Yeah.
on the hi hat. But
Mhm.
what I like about it is how rock centric it is. It's
Yeah.
very refreshing to hear somebody go back to that and be like, because it did feel like there was more meat on that bone. I feel like a lot of those bands kind of went off and made their like more experimental, weirder
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
music where it's like, this just rips.
It was always
Yeah.
good. No one wanted those bands to change. You know what I mean? Or break up. You know,
Yeah.
like so many of them, you know, changed immediately or broke up or, you know, whatever the fuck happened.
Yeah, I think like Radiohead kind of fucked up rock music in a weird way.
kind of did.
Like where you
Yeah.
were expected, if you became one of the biggest bands on earth, it's like, okay, well now
Yeah.
what?
Now
Now you have to change the world.
Make
now
something
we
weird.
Have to do something. We have to reinvent the wheel every
Yeah.
time we put out an album.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to play weird shit.
Play
You have to
microtonal
10
now.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Play 10 instruments
Yeah.
at once. Just have a whole bunch of shit on stage so you
Yeah.
can just jump to it. if
Make
you
your
want.
tour rider really expensive.
Yeah.
You know how you guys all spent like the last 20 years of your life learning an instrument? Try synth. I know you've never touched
Yeah.
one.
Give
It's
it a go.
easy. You just need one
Yeah.
finger and a knob.
Yeah, I like this one. Not one of my favorites. It still keeps the energy up, though.
It does.
Yeah. Let's move on to this one. Shangaladang is what this one's called.
Shangaladang.
Big old
Shangaladang.
MIA vibes.
I was just gonna say. I was
fly
so
like
pumped.
paper, get highlight plane.
I was so pumped to say that, and you fucking took it
did.
from me.
Yeah.
I knew you were.
I was like,
I was gonna
couldn't
say it
wait.
too.
I've been thinking about that all day.
I was thinking about it all day too.
Well, I've been thinking about taking it from you. all
Yeah,
day.
well, you did take it from me.
Wow, you guys are getting fucking weird.
There's
I
a lot
just
of things going behind the scenes that you may not be privy
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, the
Private email
IQMB.
chains getting ugly.
Whoa.
Yeah, paper planes. Also early MIA too. Like
Yeah.
if you like sped this one up and made the production like real fucking tight, it would sound like
I wanna do it.
Sunflower or something off
Yeah.
their first record.
Yeah.
I loved it though. I mean, this is
Oh,
one
this
of my
is so
favorites.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's got that like rude boy vibe.
Yeah. I miss old MIA. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's such a sick record, and hear something like that is taking such a huge influence from it is awesome.
Yeah, that melody that he
Yeah.
comes up where he like soars up over top of
Yeah.
it.
It's almost, I can't explain it, like, and it's probably just inherently with the like MIA type thing. It's got like a reggae-ish feel
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely went. She had those vibes. She had that influence in her music. She just,
Yeah.
she revamped it a bit.
Yeah.
I just love how fucking that groove gets your head.
And there's still like just like a gnarly
Yeah.
bass line going
Yeah.
on underneath.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
just double fisted.
Yeah, dude.
Double fist-
Legalize it.
Yeah, dude. Double
Joint
fisted jazz.
venture.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, joint
GB
venture.
City.
Yeah. Running it through the gauntlet.
Yeah, let's do it.
Callbacks for the true hound.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, if you know, you know.
Let's move on to the next one. Heaven.
This is a Muse song?
Yeah. Well, I like this bass line a lot just because I don't know who that reminds me of, but just hearing like that classic, like raw bass tone.
Yeah.
And
All the way on that
Schism,
neck
dude.
pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
this
it's
song
giving him-
sounds like.
This is giving me Schism.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
don't
kind
know.
of sounds like The Weeknd on this a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit.
With
Yeah. The bass line might be reminding me a little bit of like it's not right, but Interpol. I don't
Little
know why.
bit,
You
yeah.
know? It's not quite that, but
Kylie Minogue synth
yeah,
back.
it's back and it's hitting as nicely as ever. You know? I love that
Sitting so
someone's
nice.
doing this. I love that someone's adding like these classic dance elements to rock songs. It's so cool.
Yeah, and like the chorus is so techno.
Yeah.
You know, with
Yeah,
that
it
like
is.
offbeat.
And minimalist in a way that's like, you know,
It's refreshing
Yeah.
in the like soundscape, like
Yeah.
hellscape that we live in now.
yeah.
Where every, you know, DIY musician with a laptop can be fucking Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes just be a sick band.
Sometimes just be fucking cool. you know?
Sometimes, just did you try being sick?
Just try being a cool guy.
Yeah.
This is Heaven. I really like this song.
Me too.
Let's move on to the last one. Happiness is Love. Huge Daft Punk vibes on this
Yeah.
one.
Daft Punk,
You know,
little
A
gorillas.
little bit of Gorillaz. Yeah, I can see that. It at this point, like, I didn't know what the closer was gonna be. And I was gonna say
I don't wanna-
Walking on a Dream.
Yeah.
Walking on a Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, who is that?
Empire of the Sun.
Empire of the
Yeah.
Sun. Yeah.
Um,
Of course.
Of course.
You knew that. I was
Classic.
I was
Classic.
testing you.
Oh, I know. I tried to get
Oh,
into them in
yeah.
high school.
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
trying to be like, you don't know them,
They were on that car commercial.
right? But yeah, I didn't know what the closer of this album was gonna be. So getting to the end and having it kind of run the same gauntlet of what has been happening the whole time, and having it be like a 2-minute song and not anything that zips it up nicely.
Yeah.
I thought was a little bit disappointing. It made me just think like what we were talking about before. It's sort of a compilation of singles. this
Somewhat,
album, you know what I
yeah.
mean? What did you guys think about the closer?
Yeah, I think it ends somewhat anticlimactically, but I feel like an album of this nature, it would be weird if there was some sort of like grandiose thing. Not that it needs to be that, but I get what you're saying. I don't know what the creative move would be to like zip something like this up. I don't know.
It's still fun. I still like this one.
I kind of forgot about this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if there is a knock on the album, it is its consistency and the fact that it might feel a little slight.
Yeah.
And yeah, I felt the same way of like, okay, so this is the last song. It's similar to a lot of the other songs.
Yeah.
Not a bad song by any means, but it doesn't feel like that like finale.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a finale.
No.
And I mean, this album I don't think is trying to make a statement where you would need a finale. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the past two albums we've reviewed, Idols and MGMT, are like headphones album that are, have grand, big, songs. Yeah, and statements in them as well. Every song is a new adventure pretty much. Whereas this one is just so straightforward and just trying to make you just dance and have fun, and is influenced by bands that you can really just it's so obvious, like he's wearing his influences on his sleeve a little bit, but in such a way where I really missed this era. I always felt like this was an era that like you get into and like you walk along the rainbow road and then it just ends.
Yeah, it does feel. It felt like a cul-de-sac.
Yeah,
like you were like, damn, there was all this sick shit, and then nothing.
Where'd it go?
I got to turn around.
Everyone just matured, you know, and it's like it wasn't like you were making music that wasn't mature. It was just fun, you know. So hearing that throwback, I loved this. I just had a ton of fun listening to it. There's not one moment on the record that's not upbeat and just makes you fucking want to dance and go to a club and like relive those days. So closing arguments, I'll use that as mine. I would probably give this like a 7.7.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's cool.
You guys are like, what?
Oh my god!
Excuse me.
I'll go next. There's a lot. We mentioned like a bunch of different artists throughout this review, and whereas that might be a detriment to other things, I think that Masterpiece takes all of those things, and in the context of an 11-track album, how long was it? Like 35 minutes, maybe something like that.
Every song super short.
So, like in the context of that, smushes a lot of these things together. And make something that is still like somewhat genuine, while also like doing like an MIA thing, and then like another like indie-sleaze type thing or whatever. And I like that about it. I initially when I listened to like the opening track, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be more of like a rap centric thing, but it wasn't, which is cool. But he still reminds me a lot of Genesis Owusu a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Like a less dark. Because, like, Genesis seems to go in, like, a very introspective... like, he's got, like, fucking devil horns on the front of his stuff.
He's more twisted.
More. He's got more Mind of
twisted.
Mencia going on.
Yeah.
Whereas Masterpiece is more, like... way more bubbly and fun and like club oriented.
He's like the younger brother of Genesis Owusu, who hasn't seen any, some shit yet.
Who hasn't been hardened by the cruel world that we live in.
Yeah.
He's like too young to remember the parents' divorce, so like he just got 2 Christmases.
Yeah.
And didn't hear any of the fights.
What are you talking about? It's great.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, because of that, and it reminds me of a lot of things that I enjoyed when I was younger or currently do, and if I'm wanting to listen to something and have a good time, this is something that I would consider putting on. So because of that, I was thinking 7.7, but I'm just gonna notch it up to a 7.8.
Okay, wow, one up.
How about
all
that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think as a debut, this is what I want.
Yeah.
Like
That's a great way to put it.
Somebody coming out and they're like, "Hey, I'm a new artist. Here's my first album. I want bangers, straight to the point." All killer, no filler. Like, one of my favorite albums ever, and this is going to be a dumb comparison, but is Van Halen 1.
Did not expect that.
That's the only thing you're going to get from IQMB, baby.
Go ahead.
And the reason I love that album is because that's all it's trying to do. It's just trying to kick your ass for like 10 straight songs.
Yeah.
No one trying to reinvent the wheel.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love that. I love that there's not a song on the album longer than 3.5 minutes. Every song has a killer hook or cool production. And again, I agree with you. It's pulling from influences that I loved, but I always felt like, man, why wasn't there more here?
Yeah.
You know?
You know?
And it feels like he feels that way too, and is like, that shit ruled,
Yeah.
and we could still do like fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna do it in its most pure form,
Yeah.
almost. Like he's taking elements from all those bands, but like combining them in such a cool, interesting way. It's like you can take fucking Kylie Minogue and mix it with Interpol and Yeah Yeahs and make just the coolest song ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's like I said earlier, it is one of the last times that rock and roll felt cool.
Yeah.
Like it was at the front of culture, where
Yeah.
like young people wanted to like be a part of it.
Yeah.
Because you could dance to it, you could sing these like super poppy things, and rock has become so like fractal at this point, where it's like, you know, you listen to like one type of rock, where
Yeah.
like you're the stoner guy or the whatever. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna go 7-9.
Whoa.
Wow.
Step it
just
up one more.
one more. I
So
love it.
you don't have to do the
Hold on.
math. It's 7.8.
It's a 7.8.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let's just check on that. Let's just check.
Okay.
7.8.
All right. You know what that lands us
It's
on the official scale?
It's the first IQMB. Actually, no, that's not true. Since we've launched the new scale,
Yeah.
it's the first IQMB. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
a pretty strong hell yeah.
Strong hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would definitely. That's safely in the hell yeah.
Safely,
Yeah, safe hell yeah.
I wouldn't say strong or light. I would just give it a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Give it a hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so deserving of a hell yeah. When you listen to this album, you want to say hell yeah.
Yeah.
You want to say hell yeah the whole time you're driving on the way to just do something fucked up listening to this album.
Yeah.
Drinking vodka Red
Drinking
Bulls
vodka
and
Red Bull,
spilling
yeah.
them over
Yeah,
yourself.
out of a Stanley thermos that you have in the fucking cupboard.
Just masking it. Like,
Yeah.
Officer?
No, officer.
It's just a Mio infused water.
None of us have ever done that. We're not advocating for that.
Of course not.
But yeah, that's what.
But-
But to this music, that's the vibe
It's
that
the
you
vibe,
want to put
yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with indie-sleaze now and the way like music journalism and critics feel about it. Like when the Dare came out, I was super pumped, and I felt like everyone else was kind of dogging on it for some reason.
Well, what I like about this that I didn't see in Dare is this feels more like genuine.
Yeah.
Dare was almost like
he's really stealing it.
yeah, and it's like he's almost doing like a Weird Al version of it, where like every song is so fucking over the top. I still enjoyed that EP a lot.
I did too. Yeah.
But this feels like more like a genuine expression of who this dude is.
Yeah, for sure. If you're a fan of indie-sleaze, if you like all the bands we've been mentioning, go check out Masterpiece's new record, How to Make a Masterpiece. It fucking rocks. It's our first hell yeah out of 10.
It's out. It's out on March 1st.
Out March 1st.
That's a hell yeah out of
It's
10.
a hell yeah out of 10.
Yeah.
Don't question us about that. Just go read our scale. It's all lined out in
It's
the description.
ironclad.
Yeah. But go check it out.
PMR Records.
Out on PMR.
Thanks
March
for
1st.
sending us that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
thank you so much for sending us. We had such a good time listening to it. This has been I Quit My Band. Tell us what you think of the record. Like, comment, subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, all that stuff. We'll see you next time. Bye.